Welcome back to my channel, Coin Lovers. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of 5-cent buffalo nickels. Some of the most iconic and historic coins ever made in the United States. These legendary coins tell a powerful story of American history, bold design, and hidden treasures that many people overlook. In this video, we're exploring the top 5 most valuable and ultra-rare buffalo nickel coins ever discovered. From rare mint marks like P, D, and S, to unusual color shades, silver content varieties, mint errors, and even dirty condition coins. Some buffalo nickels that look completely ordinary can actually be worth thousands of dollars. And in extreme cases, even millions. Let's get started. First up, 1. The 1923 D buffalo nickel is one of those coins that does not shout its importance. It whispers it quietly, patiently, waiting for the right person to listen. At first glance it looks small, worn, even unimpressive, a 5-cent coin that most people would toss aside without a second thought. But the moment you stop and really look at it, the story begins to unfold. This coin was born in an era of hard labor, dusty roads, railroads, cattle trails, and economic uncertainty, and every mark on its surface carries the weight of that time. When collectors talk about hidden American treasures, this coin is often mentioned in hushed tones, because its true power lies not in shine, but in scarcity, survival, and mystery. The Denver Mint strike of 1923 is especially fascinating because it was produced in far smaller numbers than many surrounding years, and the quality of those strikes was often weak. That weakness created legends. Details faded quickly, dates wore down fast, and many coins were lost forever in circulation. What survived did so by chance, not by design. That is why even heavily worn and dirty examples today can ignite intense excitement. A 1923 D buffalo nickel does not need to look perfect to be powerful. Its value comes from the fact that it exists at all. Every time one appears, it feels like a survivor stepping out of history to remind us how much has been forgotten. Over the years, stories began to circulate about certain 1923 D nickels that carried a strange silver-like glow beneath decades of grime. While buffalo nickels were never officially silver, some examples display an unusual pale tone, a soft gray sheen that reflects light differently than expected. This visual mystery gave rise to speculation. Was it the metal mixture, the environment it lived in, or the slow chemical reaction of time itself? Collectors don't always need answers. They need intrigue. And this coin has plenty of it. That strange glow, especially when found under dirt or sticker residue, sends collectors into a frenzy because it signals originality untouched by modern interference. Dirty condition coins are where the real magic lives. A buffalo nickel covered in dark soil, oil stains, adhesive marks, or deep circulation where tells a stronger story than a cleaned, polished piece ever could. Dirt is proof of honesty. Dirt means the coin lived a real life, passed through real hands, survived real decades. When a 1923 D buffalo nickel appears dirty, scratched, and tired, experts lean closer, not away. They know that underneath that surface may be one of the rarest survivors of its kind, a coin that slipped through time while millions of others disappeared. The buffalo itself, standing strong on the reverse, represents endurance, and that symbolism fits this coin perfectly. Many of these nickels were worn so heavily that the date vanished entirely, making undated examples common and dated ones rare. A clearly readable 1923 with a visible D mint mark is something collectors dream about. Even when the details are weak, that mint mark carries weight. It tells the story of Denver's output, of rushed production, of coins made to be spent hard and fast in an unforgiving economy. Every visible letter feels like a miracle. Collectors are especially drawn to coins that look ugly to the untrained eye. A 1923 D buffalo nickel with uneven color, dark toning, silver-gray patches, or strange surface textures can spark intense bidding wars. Why? Because those features suggest age without alteration. They suggest that the coin was never cleaned, never messed with, never stripped of its history. In the coin world, originality is everything, and originality often looks dirty. The more ordinary the coin seems, the more extraordinary it can become once its rarity is understood. Over time, stories emerged of people finding these nickels in cigar boxes, old tool sheds, inherited jars, junk drawers, and forgotten pockets. The moment of realization, When someone notices the date, the mint mark, and the weight of history, changes everything. That's when a 5-cent coin transforms into a life-changing object. Not because of hype, but because demand meets scarcity in a way that only happens once in a generation. The 1923 D Buffalo nickel has become one of those coins people regret spending without looking. Sticker residue and dark stains don't reduce interest, they increase it. A circular sticker outline on the surface, hardened grime around the lettering, or blackened edges can actually increase collector confidence. These signs show the coin was stored, forgotten, ignored, and untouched. In an age where many coins are artificially aged or cleaned, a naturally dirty nickel stands out like a fingerprint from the past. These are the coins that advanced collectors chase, the ones they are willing to pay extraordinary amounts for because they cannot be recreated. The idea that a tiny 5-cent piece could hold 6-figure or even higher value sounds unbelievable to outsiders. But insiders understand how quickly markets move when true scarcity collides with demand. The 1923 D Buffalo nickel sits at that intersection. It is not flashy, not loud, not obvious. And that's exactly why it's dangerous to underestimate. Coins like this don't announce themselves. They wait. They let people pass them by. And then, suddenly, they change someone's life. What makes this coin especially powerful is that it doesn't require perfection. It requires authenticity. A worn horn on the buffalo, a flattened braid in the Native American portrait, or faded lettering does not weaken the coin's story. It strengthens it. These signs show survival. They prove the coin lived through the Roaring '20s, the Great Depression, and the countless hands of everyday Americans. That journey is priceless, and collectors are willing to pay for it. The market reacts emotionally to coins like the 1923 D Buffalo nickel. Every new discovery fuels excitement, every sale resets expectations, and every rumor pushes curiosity higher. People begin checking their old coins again. They begin looking closer. That's how legends grow, not through advertising, but through surprise. The surprise of finding something extraordinary where nobody thought to look. If you ever come across a dirty Buffalo nickel from 1923 with a clear Denver mint mark, do not rush. Do not clean it. Do not spend it. Hold it. Study it. Respect it. Because you may be holding one of the most quietly powerful coins in American history. A coin that doesn't beg for attention, but rewards those who give it attention anyway. In the end, the 1923 D Buffalo nickel is a reminder that fortune doesn't always arrive in gold or shine. Sometimes it arrives worn, scratched, and forgotten, waiting patiently for someone who understands its true value. And if that someone is you, then that small, dirty 5-cent coin may carry the power to change your future faster than you ever imagined. Next up. The 1924 D Buffalo nickel is one of those coins that never asks for attention, yet quietly commands it from those who truly understand coins. Born in an era when America was still defining its strength and identity, this 5-cent piece was struck in Denver and released into a world that treated money as a tool, not a treasure. No one stopped to admire it, no one set it aside with care, and that neglect is exactly what makes it dangerous today. Coins that survive without being protected often carry the strongest stories. When this coin entered circulation, it passed through hard hands and harder times. Buffalo nickels were famous for wearing down quickly, their bold designs slowly erased by daily use. Dates vanished, details softened, and thousands of coins simply disappeared into history. The 1924 D was especially vulnerable, because Denver issues from this period were not struck to impress collectors, but to meet demand. Many were weakly struck, many were overused, and very few survived in honest condition. Dirty condition is not an enemy of this coin, it is its shield. Dirt tells you the coin was not scrubbed, polished, or forced into artificial beauty. It tells you the coin rested somewhere quietly, untouched by modern hands that didn't understand what they were holding. Serious collectors respect dirt because it protects the original surface beneath. Once a coin is cleaned, its history is erased forever. A dirty 1924 D Buffalo nickel is often more desirable than a shiny one, because it still tells the truth. The soft gray tone that people sometimes mistake for silver is part of the illusion of age. Buffalo nickels were not made of precious metal, but time has a way of changing how metal looks, feels, and reflects light. Decades of oxidation, storage, and natural aging can give the surface a silver-like calm that modern coins never develop. That look, combined with dirt and untouched texture, signals something powerful to experienced eyes: originality. The Native American portrait on the front of the coin feels almost spiritual when worn naturally. On a true 1924 D, the face often appears blended with time, not damaged but matured. The lines soften, the expression deepens, and the coin feels less like an object and more like a witness. On the reverse, the buffalo stands heavy and grounded, and when that figure remains visible after a century of use, it becomes proof of survival. The small D mint mark is where the story tightens. Denver minted buffalo nickels from the mid-1920s are known for their scarcity today, not because they were rare at birth, but because they were consumed by circulation. Many were struck weakly, many lost their dates early, and many were thrown away once they became unrecognizable. A readable 1924 D that still carries its identity is no accident. It is a survivor. Sticker marks, residue, or circular stains on a coin like this do not scare advanced collectors. They tell a story of storage, of drawers, envelopes, old collections, and forgotten boxes. These marks suggest the coin was not passed around for profit or display. It was simply set aside and ignored. Ironically, that ignorance is often what creates future value, because untouched coins are becoming rarer every single year. The idea that a 5-cent coin could one day be worth an unimaginable amount sounds unbelievable to most people, and that disbelief is why rare coins still slip through ordinary hands. Coin value is not only about metal or denomination. It is about demand, survival, and story. When collectors compete for a limited number of honest examples, prices do not climb gently, they leap. The Buffalo Nickel series has proven this repeatedly, and the 1924 D sits quietly among the dates that matter. What makes this coin truly risky to underestimate is how ordinary it looks to the untrained eye. It doesn't shine, it doesn't sparkle, and it doesn't beg to be saved. But collectors don't chase beauty alone. They chase authenticity. A dirty, original coin carries more weight than a polished one ever could. Spending such a coin, cleaning it aggressively, or selling it without understanding it can destroy more potential than most people will ever realize. Stories continue to emerge of buffalo nickels found in jars, toolboxes, inherited tins, and forgotten collections. The shock never comes immediately. It comes after learning, after research, after someone finally explains what survival really means in numismatics. That moment, when a person realizes the coin they ignored has a deeper meaning, is unforgettable. It feels like history suddenly chose you. The 1924 D Buffalo Nickel does not promise instant wealth, but it carries something far more powerful: possibility. Possibility built on time, scarcity, originality, and human neglect. Coins like this don't change lives overnight because they are magical. They change lives because the world slowly wakes up to what it once overlooked. So if you ever hold a dirty buffalo nickel dated 1924 with a small D beneath the design, pause. Don't clean it. Don't rush to sell it. Don't assume it's ordinary. Some coins speak quietly, and the ones that whisper are often the ones history listens to the longest. The 1927 D Buffalo Nickel is not a loud coin, not a shiny coin, not a coin that begs for attention, and that is exactly why it is so dangerous. This 5-cent piece was born during a restless chapter of American history, a time when the country was racing forward while quietly leaving pieces of itself behind. Struck in Denver, marked by a small D that many people overlook, this coin entered circulation with one purpose only: to be used, abused, and forgotten. And yet, the very act of surviving that fate is what gives it its hidden power today. When this coin was minted, no one imagined it would one day be studied under magnification, debated by experts, or whispered about in collector circles. It moved through working hands, dusty pockets, and rough environments. The Buffalo Nickel design was bold but fragile, wearing down quickly under real-world use. That means every surviving 1927 D example had to fight against time itself. Most lost their dates. Many were melted, discarded, or destroyed. What remains today is only a shadow of what once existed, and scarcity born from disappearance is where real value begins. Dirty condition does not weaken this coin, it strengthens it. Dirt means untouched. Dirt means the coin has not been cleaned, altered, or stripped of its original skin. In the world of serious collectors, originality is sacred. A dark surface, old residue, or even a faded sticker mark tells a story of decades spent in silence. That silence is valuable. It means the coin was not passed through modern hands trying to improve it. It remained honest, and honesty is priceless in numismatics. The silver-like glow that some buffalo nickels show beneath grime often confuses beginners, but seasoned collectors understand the illusion. It's not about fantasy metal. It's about age, oxidation, and the way old nickel alloy reacts over time. That soft gray tone, especially when paired with dirt, signals long storage and chemical stability. When collectors see that look, they lean in closer because coins that age naturally are far rarer than coins that were forced to look new. The Native American portrait on the front of the buffalo nickel feels almost alive when worn correctly. On a 1927 D, that portrait often appears softened, its edges blended by decades of circulation. This is not damage. It is a fingerprint of history. The buffalo on the reverse, standing heavy and grounded, represents endurance. When the buffalo remains visible despite wear, it tells experts that the coin lived a long working life but never lost its identity. The D mint mark is where the story sharpens. Denver-minted buffalo nickels from the late 1920s are known among collectors for uneven strikes and lower survival rates. Many were poorly struck, many wore out quickly, and many disappeared forever. That means a readable, original 1927 D, especially one that hasn't been cleaned, exists in a smaller universe than most people realize. Scarcity is not always about low mintage numbers. Sometimes it's about survival against impossible odds. Sticker residue, circular marks, or hardened stains on a coin like this are not flaws to advanced eyes. They are proof of neglect, and neglect can be powerful. It suggests the coin sat in a drawer, a box, or a forgotten collection for decades, untouched by trends or market hype. Coins like this were not saved because they were valuable. They became valuable because they were ignored. That irony is what makes collectors obsess over them. The idea that a 5-cent coin could someday be worth life-changing money feels unreal to many people, and that disbelief is exactly why rare coins still hide in plain sight. Markets are driven by emotion, competition, and story. When enough collectors want the same scarce object, prices don't rise slowly, they explode. The Buffalo Nickel series has already proven this time and again, and coins like the 1927 D sit quietly at the center of that pressure. What makes this coin especially dangerous is how easy it is to underestimate. To the untrained eye, it looks old, dirty, and ordinary. To the trained eye, it looks untouched, honest, and increasingly rare. That difference in perception is where fortunes are lost or protected. Spending such a coin at face value, cleaning it aggressively, or selling it too quickly can erase more potential than most people will ever understand. Stories continue to surface of buffalo nickels discovered in jars, inherited tins, or forgotten boxes. The shock doesn't come immediately. It comes after research, after realization, after understanding what survival truly means in the coin world. That moment, when a person realizes the coin they dismissed carries weight, is unforgettable. It's not just about money. It's about history suddenly becoming personal. The 1927 D Buffalo Nickel does not promise instant riches, but it carries something more powerful: possibility. Possibility built on rarity, originality, and time. Coins like this don't change lives overnight because they are magical. They change lives because the world eventually recognizes what it once ignored. Recognition is where value is born. So if you ever find a dirty, worn buffalo nickel dated 1927 with a small D beneath the words, stop. Don't clean it. Don't rush. Don't dismiss it. Some coins whisper instead of shout, and those whispers are often the ones that echo the loudest through history. Next up, the 1925 Buffalo Nickel is one of those coins that hides its power behind silence. At first glance, it looks like nothing more than an old 5-cent piece, worn by time, darkened by years of circulation, and easily dismissed by anyone who doesn't know what they're holding. But this coin was born in the heart of America's most transformative era, when the nation was changing faster than people could understand. Every surface mark, every soft edge, every patch of grime is a quiet witness to that transformation. And that is exactly why the 1925 Buffalo nickel commands such deep respect among serious collectors. Unlike coins that scream rarity with bright shine or mirror surfaces, the 1925 Buffalo nickel speaks through survival. Struck without a mint mark, this coin came from the main production line during a period when coins were meant to work hard, not sit pretty. They passed through factories, farms, rail yards, and city streets, enduring relentless use. Millions were made, but far fewer survived with readable dates and strong character. Time erased most of them, and that disappearance is what gives this coin its hidden strength today. Collectors know that Buffalo nickels are among the most brutally honest coins ever produced. Their design wears fast, especially the date and the buffalo's horn. That means any 1925 example that still tells its story clearly, even in dirty condition, has already beaten the odds. Dirt does not reduce its importance. It enhances it. Dirt means untouched. Dirt means original. Dirt means the coin hasn't been cleaned, polished, or stripped of its history. In the coin world, originality is more powerful than beauty. Some 1925 Buffalo nickels carry a pale, silvery tone beneath dark surface grime, a look that confuses beginners and excites experts. This visual effect is not about metal fantasy. It's about chemistry, age, and environment. Decades buried in drawers, jars, or pockets can change how a coin reflects light. When collectors see that soft gray glow under dirt or old sticker residue, they pay attention. It signals authenticity, age, and a story that has not been rewritten by modern hands. Sticker marks, circular stains, or hardened residue on a Buffalo nickel are not flaws to advanced collectors. They are evidence. Evidence that the coin sat undisturbed for years, maybe generations. Evidence that it was ignored while the world changed around it. Coins like this were not saved intentionally. They survived accidentally. And accidental survival is one of the rarest traits any coin can have. That is why dirty examples often create more excitement than cleaned ones ever could. The Native American portrait on the front of the Buffalo nickel is not a single person, but a symbol of strength, resilience, and endurance. When that portrait appears worn, flattened, or darkened, it mirrors the story of the coin itself. This is not damage. It is history etched into metal. The buffalo on the reverse, standing heavy and grounded, reinforces the same message. This coin was built to endure, and every year it survived adds invisible value that collectors understand instinctively. The 1925 Buffalo nickel sits in a dangerous zone for casual owners because it looks common while being anything but ordinary. Many people have spent these coins without a second look, unaware that the market values context, survival, and condition far beyond face value. When one resurfaces today, especially in untouched, dirty condition, it instantly becomes a conversation piece. Not because it's flashy, but because it shouldn't exist anymore. Collectors chase coins that tell honest stories. A cleaned coin tells a lie. It pretends to be younger than it is. A dirty 1925 Buffalo nickel tells the truth. It says, "I was there. I was used. I survived." That truth is powerful. It separates real historical pieces from altered objects. And when demand meets truth, prices don't rise slowly, they jump. The idea that a 5-cent coin could be worth extraordinary money feels impossible until you understand scarcity psychology. The value doesn't come from metal alone. It comes from how few examples remain in acceptable original condition. It comes from how many were lost forever. It comes from how many collectors are competing for the same small pool of survivors. When those forces collide, even humble coins become legends. Stories continue to surface of people finding 1925 Buffalo nickels in old tins, inherited boxes, or forgotten drawers. The shock isn't immediate. It comes slowly when someone realizes the date, the condition, the untouched surface. That's the moment when time collapses and history becomes personal. That's when a coin stops being 5 cents and starts being a turning point. This is why experts warn against quick decisions. Spending, cleaning, or selling too fast can erase more value than people realize. A single mistake can destroy decades of preserved history. The smartest move is patience. Let the coin speak. Let it be evaluated as it is, not as someone tries to make it look. The 1925 Buffalo nickel rewards restraint, not haste. What makes this coin dangerous, in a good way, is that it doesn't announce itself. It waits. It hides in plain sight. And when it's finally recognized, the realization hits hard. You were holding history. You were holding survival. You were holding something far greater than its face value ever suggested. In the end, the 1925 Buffalo nickel is not about silver shine or instant wealth. It's about hidden power. Power built slowly through time, neglect, and endurance. And if you ever find one, dirty and forgotten, remember this. Some fortunes don't arrive shining. Some arrive worn, silent, and waiting for the right person to listen. Next up.